Mysterious people easily captivate attention. With hidden identities, strange backgrounds, and unusual stories, their lives appear to be something you find in a mystery novel. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 mysterious individuals. The Poe Toaster. Edgar Allan Poe had an intriguing life, but a secretive figure, named by locals as the Poe Toaster, adds another layer of mystery to the infamous writer. Poe passed away in 1849, aged 40, under mysterious circumstances. However, many years later, a visitor started coming to his grave with an odd ritual. It is disputed what year the Poe Toaster started his ritual, with most saying it began in the 1950s, some believing it started earlier, with another source stating that it started on the centennial of Poe's passing. For 75 years, the visitor attended the grave in Baltimore, Maryland, on Poe's birthday, January 19th, with a particular ritual. The Poe Toaster would arrive wearing a wide-brimmed black hat with a black coat and white scarf. He poured himself a glass of cognac and recited a brief toast to the deceased writer before leaving behind the remaining cognac in a bottle, a note, and 3 specifically arranged red roses. The roses were believed to represent Poe, his wife Virginia, who passed away of tuberculosis, and his mother-in-law Maria Clem. The significance of the cognac was not immediately clear, but a 2004 note implied that this was a tradition of the Toaster's family rather than being related to Poe. There have been many theories as to who the Poe Toaster was. A prevailing theory is that it was multiple people rather than just one Poe enthusiast. Or perhaps it was a relative of the prolific master of macabre. A note in 1999 stated that the torch had passed, perhaps alluding to a son taking over his father's work, reiterating a 1993 note that said a torch will be passed. It was reported that whoever took over did not take the tradition as seriously as their predecessor, with the Poe Toaster sometimes turning up in normal clothes or the note not following the same themes as the originals. The visitor's identity has never been uncovered, but the ritual stopped in 2009, on the bicentennial of Poe's birthday. Despite crowds gathering to witness the Poe Toaster's ritual, no one was able or willing to uncover who it was. An obscure photo was published in 1990, which the publication claimed was the Poe Toaster. Jeff Jerome, the former curator of the Baltimore Poe House and Museum, has often been thought to be the Poe Toaster, but has denied it, while admitting that he knows more about the Toaster's identity than anyone else. In 2016, the tradition was resurrected by the Maryland Historical Society, choosing a new person each year through an organized competition to carry out the ritual of the Poe Toaster. The identity of the new Poe Toaster is kept anonymous each year, keeping it in line with the original, but it is made into more of an event with an audience and festivities. Gil Perez. Gil Perez, also known as the 1593 transported soldier, is a well-known Mexican folk legend regarding teleportation. In October 1593, Gil Perez was a Spanish soldier guarding the Palacio del Gobernador in Manila, now known as the Philippines, when he leaned against a wall, closed his eyes because he began to feel dizzy and exhausted, and once he reopened them, he was outside Plaza Mayo, now known as Zocalo, Mexico City, mysteriously teleporting over 8,800 miles. The day before the alleged teleportation, on the 23rd of October 1593, the governor, Gomez Perez Dasmariñas, was assassinated by his own Chinese rowers while attempting to capture new territory in the Philippines. At the time, parts of the Philippines were under the control of the Spanish. Mexico City was also part of the Spanish Empire, and at the time Perez arrived, news of the governor's assassination had not yet reached Mexico. Unsure of how to react, Perez continued to do his guarding duties. Local guards discovered the teleported soldier, and as he was not in the correct uniform, he was arrested and questioned. He was brought to the Viceroy of New Spain, Luis de Velasco, as it was his palace that Perez teleported to. who was reportedly pleased with the soldier's explanation, while religious officials were not as quick to accept it. As Perez's story about the assassination and teleportation could not be confirmed, he was charged with desertion and witchcraft and was jailed. He was sent to Santo Domingo to be imprisoned. 2 months later, a ship from Manila with passengers carrying the news of the governor's assassination arrived in Mexico City. Perez was recalled to Mexico after the ship's arrival confirmed his story. Some of the passengers on the ship recognized Perez, and he was freed and returned to his garrison in Manila. A lot of this remains a folk legend, with facts that are unable to be verified. The name Gil Perez cannot be confirmed through primary sources. However, there are records of a nameless soldier detained for witchcraft around the time of the governor's assassination, and this soldier was released several months later. Other accounts of the teleportation have been recorded, one in 1609 by a Spanish soldier called Antonio de Morga, and another in 1698 by Gaspar de San Agustin, a Spanish clergyman and historian. The Pollock twins. Reincarnation, also known as rebirth or transmigration, is one theory about it not being the end when you pass away, believed by many cultures. Some believe that the birth of a set of twins proves that reincarnation is real. On the 5th of May 1957, a tragedy struck the Pollock family in Hexham, England, and their 2 daughters, 11-year-old Joanna and 6-year-old Jacqueline, passed away due to a car accident on their way to church. The girls passed away almost instantaneously, and another child, a friend, passed away on the way to hospital. The driver was a woman who had been forcibly separated from her own children and reportedly tried to take her own life by driving after taking aspirin and phenobarbital. The case made headlines across Britain. On the 4th of October 1958, Joanna and Jacqueline's mother, Florence Pollock, gave birth to a set of identical twins, named Gillian and Jennifer. The similarities between the twins and the deceased girls started to show at birth. The twins, although identical, had different birthmarks. Jennifer had a birthmark on her left hip that was similar to the one that Jacqueline had in the same position. Also, she had a small birthmark on her forehead that resembled a scar Jacqueline got from falling in a bucket aged 3 years old. The parents moved the family to Whitley Bay, England, to get a fresh start before the twins turned 1. As the twins grew, they began to say and remember things that they should not have known. The girls began to ask for their deceased sister's toys by name, despite those toys being kept away. Once the twins were 4 years old, the family moved back to Hexham and the strange occurrences continued. The girls were able to name landmarks they had never seen. They knew the favourite locations of their deceased sisters and believed that they had attended school where Jacqueline and Joanna were enrolled when they passed away. The girls were also terrified of cars and running engines. It got stranger. Florence noticed Jennifer and Gillian playing chilling games. Gillian cradled Jennifer's head, saying, "There's blood coming out of your eyes." According to their father, John, the twins often talked about the accident between themselves. The twins had similar tastes for foods, clothes, and music as their deceased sisters. However, all memories of their past life seemed to disappear shortly after the twins turned 5. Some people believe that these twins prove that reincarnation is real. Others said the girls were influenced by their older brothers. The twins were studied by a psychologist named Dr. Ian Stevenson, who researched proof of reincarnation in children. They were just one of many cases of reincarnation that the psychologist studied. The twins were covered in one of Stevenson's books, which also contained 13 other cases. In total, Stevenson studied over 2,500 cases of reincarnation over a 40-year career. A question still remains regarding reincarnation, but the case of the Pollock twins is compelling evidence. But what do you make of these mysterious individuals and their stories? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.